Now then, it's been a while. I don't think I've posted anything since August, back end of August maybe. Anyway, back with the Rio. Hopefully we'll get it started today. Things have been going on in the background since then, since it last moved. But at the moment, yard's flooded. I'm in my wellies. I've already got a wet sock. So fingers crossed we can get it started today. So the stuff that's been going on, I'll give you a little walk around about that now. And then we'll go from there. So starting on the outside, obviously, I've had the fuel tank off. We've cut the top 3 sections out because you've got 2 baffles on that line and that line there. So that's all been cleaned out. Reworked all the fittings for here. Got rid of all the old stuff and then blanked it all off. And then on the originals you had like a little block here that had your fuse in for the fuel pump. That's all gone. The frame is just 2 legs with nothing in it anymore. I fitted in an electrical one, I'll show you that in a minute. So new fuel lines running down the chassis leg. Same with the turbo sludge vent pipe that's come. That's all new as well. Earth's all been tidied up. What else have done? Well, on the outside anyway. Done the yellow stripe just because it looked cool. So on the inside, taking all of the gubbins out under here, so there's no demisters or anything like that. It wasn't working great anyway. This distribution box is just full of rust flakes, as you can see. That's all to come out. If I can get my hand there, I can't get my hand in there. But yeah, that's just all rust. New gauges. What we got? A new fuel temperature gauge. Sorry. So hopefully that'll work. New fuel level gauge. All the controls are taken out from here. I've just had a good general tidy up in here. Could have really done with that demister today, but oh well. Under the bonnet wise, is our new fuel pump. Custom made bracket that I measured up and got me to make. New fuel lines, new electrics. So this is the main hot and cold cable from the fuel pump that is in there. I just rerouted it along the chassis rail and up into here with a new plug on. New fuel line into the primary filter housing. All the filter housings have been done because they were full of rust and crap. That cable was snapped off, so that might have been why it wasn't starting in August. And this cable here had come out of its crimp connector, so I've redone all that. And on the other side, a bit wet. So our lovely new or renovated fuel filter housings, they're all done. New O-rings, new filters, new drain taps because they were all rubbish as well. What else? Oh yeah, FDC bypass. So there's your FDC, your fuel density compensator. There's loads of videos on YouTube how to do it. That's been plugged off there and on the reverse side. So we run a new fuel line from here all the way into there to bypass that thing. And that helps it run multi-fuel. Now I'm not bothered for that because this is how it all stemmed with all, doing the fuel tank and things. Because the guy who had it before me ran it on propane, butane, Vince Vontane. He ran it on everything basically, and it's just rotted the whole system. New flasher relay, so that had all gone, so I now have indicators and 4-way flashers. So yeah, all in all, it's been quite busy this last six months-ish. So fingers crossed we can get it making noises today. So I've got diesel and I've got 2 new batteries for it to go on. And fingers crossed, that's the only thing it needs. I've got to bleed the system, make sure there's no leaks. Up at the top there. That's where the T for the flame heater was. So I took that red hose from somewhere else, probably from the flame heater itself. That's what sits on top of the block there. That heats your manifold up, so on cold days pretty much like this it wouldn't struggle, but I'm not going to be driving it in bloody Arctic conditions, so there's no need for it. Right, battery's connected, so in theory, I'll go around the other way. So in theory, when I flick the ignition on, that fuel pump should start to make noises. Well, it did last time we checked anyway. Yep, that's doing stuff. That's sounding promising. Right, go get some diesel. So I'm going to bang some Red X in it, because obviously this side of the fuel system is clean. So from the primary pure fuel filter, underneath the radiator, up the frame, and then into the secondary and final fuel filters, that's all original still. So I don't know how dirty it is, as with all the injector lines, so hopefully that'll help and clean that out too. Right, jerry can's worth of diesel in, let's see if she starts doing stuff. Should be able to, oh yes! So that first filter's filling up nicely. Oh, there she goes. So that should be filling the primary up now. Oh, we could technically call that the primary. No leaks yet. Let's just see if I can believe this filter housing out. Yep, that's good news. So that's filling that up nicely. It'll take a while to do. That should be pushing up diesel from the main line. That's the compressor line, not that one. It's down there somewhere. Under. Oh, we can hear air bubbles. That's coming out underneath. Uh-oh. We have a leak. Okay, so that leak, I thought it was coming from the primary fuel filter housing. That's that red bit there. So I put a new O-ring on there. I thought I hadn't got it in quite right, but it turns out it's this union bolt here, this uni joint, sorry, and it's a bottom fitting, which is weird because I've not touched anything past this here, and it wasn't leaking before. Unless it might have been because it was just relying on sheer engine power to suck the fuel through, and it might not have been that much pressure behind it, but it's going to be impossible to get a tool in there, isn't it? Oh well, let's try. Right, so I've wrestled with the fuel filter housing. I don't know if I'll pick it up, but that little bastard here was leaking out of that little bastard. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to PTFE the absolute knackers off of it, because I really can't be bothered. I can't be bothered replacing this whole line. I don't think I've got enough material to do it. Oh, I might do, because it only just goes into there. But I don't know if I've got the right press fittings for it to do a rubber swap. So I'm going to PTFE that. Fingers crossed that works. Okay, so what felt like an absolute eternity, I had to take this whole housing off because I couldn't get to this to screw it back in, because it's a flared fitting. The Yanks really like the flared fittings on these, and it's a right pain in the arse. So I was fearing the worst. I thought about bypassing the whole filter, redoing this line completely with rubber up to there. Then I didn't have a fitting that would go there, so I thought I'll take the whole thing off here. So I didn't have a screwdriver, spanner that would fit. So I managed to get some PTFE on it. Well, some, I mean a lot. I need to do that Jubilee clip up, and then it is time to see if it'll prime up and not piss out of there. Okay, moment of truth. Fuel pump is chugging away. I did prime the filter already, so there shouldn't be much. It's pissing out again. That is tight as tight can be as well. It's worse than before. Bollocks. Right, you can just see the JCB going, so we've had to tow it from out of that lake up to here to some dry ground. It's the whole car park yard thing. It's got a hump there, obviously. Yeah, I don't know if I put up last year, but there was 3 inches of ice all the way across there. So now I can work underneath it, not get absolutely soaking wet. I have noticed that it is pumping fuel up to this. I think that's the secondary. Yeah, that's the secondary, and that's your final there. So it is pumping fuel up there, albeit not a lot because it's pissing out at the bottom of there. So what I'm going to do, well, I don't really know what I'm going to do because that thing there is the source of all my problems. Probably take it all off, try and get that fitting out, and replace a whole lot with rubber. Just make it easier, because it's so much easier than using bloody flared fittings. So might crack on with that now. Violence was chosen. So just draining the primary fuel filter off. I'm going to take the whole mount off again. I have ripped this line out, which goes up to there. That feeds you something up there, probably pump related, I don't know. So that's the original line. I've decided to just get away and do away with it. I do know that you can get 1/2 inch MPT hose barbs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mirror this side, that side onto this side. It's just make things so much easier. I'll take this all off, get it to the workshop, and then go from there. Shame really, but needs must. It'll make things a lot easier. In the meantime, I'm going to figure out either what fitting that hose is, probably something 1/2 inch stupid, or go straight up to there, which is the bottom of the hydraulic head. So where that little elbow is there, that hose goes onto there. So if I can get something that goes on straight onto there, that'll make things so much easier. So yeah, I'll let that drain out. I'm gonna have a brew. Okay, so there's the primary fuel filter housing off for the 3rd time today. So I'm gonna get it to workshop, clean all this out. That's fine. It's just a retaining bolt. So yeah, we'll get rid of that. So this is the pipe that goes into there, like so. On closer inspection, come on, focus you bastard. There we go. So yeah, it's all crimped in that. I probably over tightened it when I put it back on, but I don't know why it was leaking in the first place. Because, like I say, I've not touched anything this side of the truck. So defeated for today. We'll come back another day and get that sorted.